Dissidia
Hello and welcome to my video on Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. Now, back before it was released, I made a couple of videos on the beta, and well, yeah, for a beta, it was actually really good. It had content that you would expect from a beta, basically just, you know, you could play the game, essentially. That really is all you expect. So yeah. But the full game really didn't actually have all that much more than the beta, actually. Which kinda sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, there were... the store was in the full game, well, that wasn't in the beta. The full story was in the real game, that wasn't in the beta. But, honestly, other than that, really... pretty much everything was in the beta. Except, of course, for the new DLC content that is coming out. But that's not really in the full game yet either, so... So, yeah. First of all, I think that gameplay-wise, there really isn't much to change, unless you wanna just change the whole thing, because, well, I mean... The way it's now, it's really made for triple fights, and... As much as I liked 1v1 in the original games, I mean, yeah. I understand they want to make 3v3 the main mode of the game. Sure, go for it. I don't mind that, actually. However, what I do mind, however, is the game modes. The only game mode that is actually worth playing is Gauntlet. Other than that, we only really have practice mode and... well, sparring actually, but whatever, it's not very good. You don't gain anything from playing it, you don't gain any EXP, you don't gain any gil, so really there is no real way to play it. No, there is no reason to play it, that's what I'm trying to say. However, Gauntlet mode is pretty bad, honestly. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not bad, however, not having a proper alternative to Gauntlet, that is bad. The original Dissidia games was great because you could just pick it up, play a couple of games, just put it down again. Or just pick it up, play one game, put it down again. Or pick it up, play half a game, pause the game, put it down again, because it was on the PlayStation Portable. Now, Dissidia NT, on the other hand, is on the PlayStation 4. And the PlayStation 4, I mean, there is a bit more complexity to playing the PlayStation. With the PlayStation Portable, you could play it anywhere. You know, sitting on the train, waiting to get somewhere, you can play a couple of games. But the PlayStation 4, I mean, you have to not have anything else to do and be at home. Which is, you know... something that not everybody has, you know, with jobs and school and stuff like that. You know, you're not home as much as you want to be, you know, to play games. And that is kind of an annoyance, really, because Gauntlet makes you have to plan out. Oh, I want to play today when I get home, because, you know, I think it's funny. So you get home, you start up the PlayStation 4, you realize, oh crap, I have other stuff that I have to do, and then suddenly you don't have time to play anymore. So, but you know, I mean, having like single fights, I can understand what they're thinking here. Like, actually I don't. Actually I don't. Because the way they're thinking is loot box thinking. Don't let the player be able to grind too effectively, so they will buy loot boxes. But they don't actually have loot boxes. I'm guessing treasures was supposed to be loot boxes, but since you can't actually buy those, I mean, what's the point? Let the players grind more effectively. I mean, there really is no point in not letting the players grind. The only thing that you can actually affect is the level of your NPCs, the bots, so to speak, on your team, and, you know, how much money you have. And the money really is just used for skins anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Whatever, that's my idea on that. Make a single fight game mode. You can play one game, you can, you know, change all that stuff. That is what really needs to happen. That is the main thing about the game. Other than that, really, you don't, the rest really isn't as necessary as that. I mean, I don't think I played it for a couple of weeks simply because, oh, if I pick it up and start playing, I have to play through an entire gauntlet, and I might not have time for that, you know. So on that matter, we have two things that are actually kind of connected to that. We have the game interface. Now, the main menu looked fine for the beta, but for the full game, I mean, I was kind of expecting something that looked a bit more like a complete menu. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks fine, but it just doesn't feel like it's, you know, complete. It just doesn't feel right, you know. It just feels like an incomplete game. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It just feels like they took part of something else and just made it into the main menu. Like they were making a fighting stage and they took part of it and used that for the main menu. It just feels like that. They probably didn't. They probably put a lot of time into it, but it doesn't feel right. There's just something about it that feels off. And then we have the character select screen. And in the old game, we actually had a pretty neat way of, you know, selecting your characters, essentially Super Smash Bros. Style. And you select the first your own and then the opponent character, and then you started the game. Now in this, of course, that doesn't really work because you have to have 2 teams of 3, so it's 6 characters to choose from. But why not just go full Super Smash Bros, you know? Why not just go fully that way, you know? Why not? It would be completely okay to have, you know, 6 full body renders of all the characters, and then just all these little boxes beneath them, and that's all the characters. You know, it would really be completely fine, honestly. The way they have done it right now just plain sucks because it's a freaking scroll down menu. And, you know, I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel very nice. I mean, oh, so I want Final Fantasy 7. So I'm gonna have to scroll all the way down to Final Fantasy 7, and now I'm at Final Fantasy 7. I mean, it's like you scroll all the way down. It just doesn't feel very good. I mean, they have that for the multiplayer. There they have like this entire character select screen with all the characters appearing in crystals. Why couldn't they have that for the rest of the game? That would make sense. That would be kind of cool, honestly. I would have loved that, but no. No, we have to have this entire black bar where you just scroll down to whatever character you want. It just feels very... It doesn't feel very personal, you know? It's just items in a menu, like, yeah. These aren't characters, these are just options, you know? But whatever, I guess that might just be my opinion. This is not super important, but honestly, I feel like much of the interface needs a rework. Next up, we have the store. Now, in the beta, the store wasn't actually available. We could get Gil, but we couldn't buy anything in the store, which kind of sucked, honestly, but whatever. We could still get stuff through treasures and stuff, so whatever. However, in the full game, I think that the store is pretty freaking boring. Plain and simple, it's boring. I mean, you have every single character, and they get, wow, they get a whopping 5 different skins. But actually, no. They don't get 5 extra skins. No, they have 2 recolors of the original skin and a second skin with 2 recolors. So essentially they just have 2 skins. I mean, I preferred it the way they did in the old games with like 3 different skins and 1 or 2 recolorations of each. That was awesome. But in this game, it just kind of comes off as kind of boring because all of these skins cost over 10,000 gil each. And that is a lot of grinding. That's a lot of grinding, honestly. So, I mean, I bought the Kingdom Hearts gear for Sephiroth, the alternate skin for Sephiroth, essentially. And, I mean, I'm kind of done with the store. I don't feel like there's anything else in the store that is worth grinding for, like, 2 hours or maybe even 3 or 4 hours to get. You know, I don't feel like there's anything worth grinding to get. So, I mean, the store is supposed to be an incentive to play. Like, ooh, I have 500 gil, I only need 200 more, and then I can buy this awesome new weapon for Zidane. Yeah, that would be cool. But it's like, it costs 10,000 for each and every one of them, and 7,000 for each and every weapon. It's like, I don't want to grind that much. I don't feel like doing that. Why would I want to grind for a skin for the Emperor? I never play as him. Sure, it would be cool to have it, but like I said, I never play as him. So it's like, yeah, it's pointless. That's my thoughts on the store. What I think they should do is, honestly, either just make everything a bit more varying in price, lower all the prices, or increase the amount of gil you get after each fight to make you feel like, oh yeah, I got 1,000 extra gil there for beating that fight. Yeah, that's awesome. But a lot of this also comes from the gauntlet, because you get money after clearing the gauntlet, essentially. You don't get any money for single fights. So, I mean, yeah, you can't do any grinding when you're bored. You have to do the entire gauntlet, you know, you have to play full gauntlets to get money. But yeah, that's the store. That's what I think about that. Really, it kind of needs to be upgraded and fixed. There really isn't much fun stuff in it. I mean, there are all the songs, but if you just put it on shuffle, you get to hear every single song anyway, so it's pretty pointless to buy songs. And then we have the final thing that you can buy, I think, the icons. The icons that they messed up. I mean, let's face it. You find an icon, you want to use it, then you will only use that icon. You don't sit around switching icons every couple of hours. You know, you don't. You get the icon that you like and then you use it. It's that simple. And then when you upgrade it to like 3 stars or 4 stars, whichever it is, it gets all rainbowy and then you can't really see it properly anymore. Then you might switch. I did that. I bought the Dissidia NT Sephiroth icon. And I was like, I wonder what happens if I upgrade it. Oh, it became rainbow. I can barely see it anymore. Then I switched to another Sephiroth icon, you know, because there was 2. So, yeah, and I don't want that other one to be a 3-star, because then I won't be able to see it properly either. It doesn't look good. It's just stupid. It just ruins it. So yeah, that's my opinion on the store. Add more icons, add more music, you know, stuff that isn't already in the game, that is unlocked by buying it, you know. Because if you don't own any music at all, you can still get any song by having it on random songs, essentially. So there really is no point in buying the songs. Now then, the final thing I'm going to talk about is the story. The story is good. It's not great, but it's good. But my main complaint with the story is that it is short. It's really short. And it feels kind of rushed. But yeah, I mean, this is all of course comparing to the old game, which is in some ways can feel kind of unfair, but then again, that was a PSP game. This is a full PS4 game. This game has had every single opportunity to outshine the old games in every single aspect. The old games shouldn't be better, but they are in most ways, honestly. And yeah, the story, I really think it should have been longer, and I think you should have been able to redo all the matches I haven't actually finished the story yet. I'm still stuck on the final boss. I just can't beat it, and I just don't feel like playing it because it's just such a big hassle. But yeah, you should be able to redo every single match at any time, because if you clear a fight in the story, then that fight is gone. And sure, you can unlock special gauntlets from completing the story, but even then it's just kind of like, why would I want to play those gauntlets? Those gauntlets are the same as the other gauntlets, you just are locked to certain characters essentially. So, you know, why? But yeah, the story really needs to be longer and it needs to be more detailed essentially. But I mean, yeah, they're adding DLCs. They should be able to add some story DLCs. That would be cool, with new fights and new summons. Definitely add more summons. I want more summons for this game, and I want Omega as a summon because he is really badass, and I think that that would work out just perfectly. At least as a super boss or something. That would be really cool. Stuff like that. It's not that it's a bad game, it's that it's not a complete game. It needs more stuff, more fight modes and more story and all that kind of stuff, more stuff in the store, everything. It needs more. That is the way to fix Final Fantasy Dissidia NT, in my opinion. Thank you for listening and thanks for watching, and yeah, bye!
I almost enjoyed myself.